Bonjour French students, bienvenue à French for Global Citizens 2. Comment allez-vous? Ça va? Okay, so you've heard your first dose of French for our semester together. You'll also see in our banner across the top of our homepage here that you have lots of expressions for greeting people at different times of the day. So we're already digging into French in our first video. Okay, so the purpose of this video is just to give you an overview of what to expect from French 102, how to navigate our Blackboard site, where to be able to find everything that you need to get off to a great start. So when you click on Course Home over here, this will take you to this page every time. And it's also helpful to know that you can get to course announcements from this block right here. If you click on this, it's going to take you to all the announcements that I post each week. I'll be sending out the first announcement tonight, so you'll be able to come back and refer to that. I'll also send out announcements via email, so you'll get them both ways. And I will do that every Sunday evening just to give you a heads up about what's coming for the week, reminders about anything important that might be coming up. Okay, from Course Home, then we can go on to instructor information. So there's a little bit of information about me here, along with ways that you can contact me. Email is the best way. You could call me. All calls will be forwarded to me from Landers campus. I'm teaching remotely this semester, so but you'd still be able to reach me. But email is definitely the best way. Virtual office hours, of course, I will be having those on 3 different days out of the week, on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and those hours are listed in the syllabus. I'll show you soon where to access the syllabus and the course calendar. Just to tell you a little bit about me, I do know a few of you from last semester. If you are new to my courses this semester, I'll give just a brief introduction to everybody. I've been teaching at Lander for the last 8 years or so. I started there in 2012. I've been mostly teaching English, actually. English to international students and English 101, 102, and 345 courses. Some of you might even be in the English 345 course with me this semester too, so we'll be learning a lot about language together. English 345 is Introduction to Language, a linguistics course. Before teaching at Lander, I was at USC Upstate and taught French and English there, and have taught English in South Korea as well too. So I'm really a language lover. It's like a hobby of mine. I just really enjoy it a lot. So French, I actually didn't even start to learn formally until I was in my early 20s. I did it for fun, and I loved it so much I decided to go and spend some time in Paris with a host family at a language school. I did some international volunteer work also in Switzerland, in France, also in Canada, in Quebec. So it's just become kind of a passion of mine, in addition to teaching it as well. And I always like to keep on learning other languages. I just think it's just good for us personally, it's good for the brain, and it just makes me happy. Okay, so from here you can go to course information, and there you'll see our syllabus. You'll also see a separate copy of the course calendar. The course calendar is also embedded into the syllabus. Okay, so we can go ahead and open our syllabus, and I will just highlight some of the more important parts of that syllabus. You can, of course, spend some more time looking through the details on your own, but I'll point out what's most important. As I mentioned earlier, virtual office hours are going to be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday and Wednesday from 2:15 to 4:15, and 1 to 3 on Fridays through Blackboard Collaborate. Back over here, you will see a link on the left navigation panel for virtual office hours that will link you directly to Blackboard Collaborate. Starting Wednesday, you'll see a link that you can click on to enter a session. I will be there. I'll just be there waiting for students to join a session, and you're welcome to come by anytime. I strongly encourage you to do it anytime you have questions. I did find that when I had some individual sessions with students last semester, it was very helpful to them when they had questions about grammar, pronunciation, anything, even to go over, let's say, an oral activity or a cultural discovery project. Those are assignments I'll be telling you about soon. So don't hesitate to come to those office hours. They're there for you. I'm also considering offering some face-to-face kind of question and answer sessions just dedicated to this class so that you can ask questions about anything that I'm teaching throughout the semester. Okay, as far as virtual office hours, you can also get to them by going into class activities here, and then there's a link for virtual office hours. Okay, we'll head back over to the syllabus for just a few more minutes. The book that we'll be using in this course is called Horizon. If you were in French 101 last semester, it's the same book we used, the same platform called Mindtap, which is the online student activities that go along with the textbook, and you'll need to have access to those to complete your first set of activities by this Sunday. I will assign about 15 activities per week, along with some optional ones that you can also complete if you want extra practice. But you'll see when you get access to Mindtap, there are 15 activities waiting for you for this week. So once you get access to that and you've linked it up to Blackboard, you can go ahead and jump into those and get started. Okay, so the first part of the syllabus here just informs you that this is an online course and that you'll be working independently, asynchronously, but I will be here to support you every step of the way. And I'll be providing my own video lessons throughout the entire semester in different chapter folders in Blackboard. This course description just reminds you that, of course, language is something you do. It's a skill that you develop over time. So it's not something you can really cram for the day before a test. So making this language a part of your life as much as possible, getting exposed to it through different activities that you enjoy, that you think are fun, that's going to help you learn the language. So especially with the Mindtap activities, if you make a commitment to yourself to do 2 to 3 of those each day, it's going to keep the language in your mind. You're going to be constantly exposed to it, and you'll also get it done in a good amount of time so that you won't feel stressed about it by the end of the week. All right, you'll see the course description from the catalog right here, and some of the objectives that we will achieve, the different skills that we will learn in French 102. Speaking, listening, reading, writing, understanding more about French and French-speaking cultures. The grade for the course is based on the following items, so we'll have 4 chapter exams. If you were in French 101 last semester, we did the preliminary chapter and then chapters 1, 2, and 3. We'll continue this semester with chapters 4, 5, 6, and 7, so we'll be in the middle chunk of the book. If you plan to go on to French 203 next fall, we'll finish the textbook with the last 4 chapters. And Mindtap activities will be a quarter of your grade, and those are the activities that will help to reinforce what you're learning from the lessons that I present, video lessons I present each week, and they will just help you gain daily exposure to the language, which is such an important part of improving and getting it into your brain. Okay, cultural discovery projects. If you were in French 101, this is going to be very similar to what we did in French 101, but with somewhat different topics. So these are discussion forum-based projects where you research a certain aspect of French or French-speaking culture. You will post your research about it, and you'll learn from other students. And these are a lot of fun. Last semester in French 101, I really enjoyed these. I learned so much about different French-speaking cultures that I didn't even know. So this is really good for me too, even as a learner. We'll also do a series of oral activities. If you were in French 101, we did these with partners through Blackboard Collaborate. Sometimes that was a little tricky though, I think, because during a pandemic, and I know many students were able to meet up virtually on Collaborate to do their project. But sometimes students decided to meet in person, and sometimes it was complicated to get everybody in the same place at the same time. So this time we're going to do individual oral activities, and I plan on doing that through Flipgrid. You may have used Flipgrid in another class, or you might know someone even in the K-12 arena who's used it. You'll learn more about that in the next few weeks, but you'll be practicing your speaking skills there. And I emphasize practice. I'm not necessarily going to correct you and point out every mistake that you make. The goal of the oral activities will be for practice and improvement, not to be critiqued and told that you need to do something differently. And I want to make them as, fun and interesting as we can possibly make them. Okay, extra credit, also very similar to what you experienced in English or French 101 if you were in that class last semester. You'll again have access to Duolingo, and you'll need to complete all of the lessons in 10 topics that I've assigned. Last semester, the topics were a little bit fewer. That was 101. Now we're in 102, so we need more practice. You've got a link there that gives you the instructions to get set up in Duolingo. You'll also see there's a folder set up for that in Blackboard. Call My Agent, in case you haven't heard of it, is a French comedy series on Netflix. There are 3 seasons of it on there now. Your requirement to get extra credit is to watch the first season. There are 6 episodes, and then write a 2 to 3 page review of that in English and submit it there at the end of the semester. Don't worry about understanding the French perfectly in this show. It's a real TV show, actually from France, so you wouldn't be expected to understand everything perfectly in your first year of learning French. It takes time. The goal with watching something in French is really just to get it in your ear, to get used to hearing the language, to get the rhythm kind of in your brain. So that's the main goal. So don't feel intimidated if you can't understand everything, or if you need to use English subtitles, use them. You can try to let go of the subtitles a little bit later on when you get into more advanced studies. Okay, and if you were in French 101, you remember that we did some weekly challenges where you learned about different aspects of French culture, maybe a different grammar point or pronunciation practice exercise. We'll continue to do those. And just like French 101, each challenge that you complete gives you 2 extra credit points on a chapter test. And this can be a very helpful thing. And you keep on learning too, so it's a great thing to take advantage of. Okay, as far as other information, grading scale is the traditional one. All the course requirements, what I just explained, are all written out here too for you to read in more detail. So feel free to take a look at that. And attendance, there is a specific policy for attendance in an online course, so I will be monitoring that students are logging in a certain number of times per week just to make sure you're active. And if I see that you've kind of disappeared or something, I'll probably be getting in touch with you just to find out how things are and if I can help in any way. So we just want to make sure that everybody is successful. Okay. The rest of the policies are pretty standard for every syllabus, and I'll let you take a look at those on your own time. The course calendar is attached here, and as I mentioned in Blackboard and course information, you'll also see it linked separately in case you just want to get right to the calendar. So our course calendar is organized in 4 columns. You have semaine, which is the week that we happen to be in, chapitre, which is the chapter we're studying, on apprend, what we are learning, and then devoir or activité, so homework or other activities. So for week 1, you see that we are introducing the course. You'll see the introduction to chapter 4. There will be a culture topic, géoculture, and then chapter 4, compétence 1, which would be like the first skill or first set of skills that you're learning from chapter 4. So we'll be learning a little bit about French-speaking culture in Louisiana. We'll be in North America, in the United States, and you'll learn about some vocabulary for talking about your family, ma famille. Your first set of Mindtap activities are due this Sunday by January 17th, so it's really important that you get that set up right away. Okay, we'll start with looking at commençons, or let's get started. So let's go ahead and head back over to Blackboard. I'm going to click on My Classroom. And then in Class Activities, this is where you'll come for all of the different activities we'll be doing each week. You can also access the discussion board directly here. I'll just take a quick look at this. So in the discussion board, you're going to see there's a course cafe just for general discussion, questions about anything going on in the course. There's also a course concerns and feedback forum where you can leave anonymous comments and about anything that you're having difficulty with, or maybe you want to ask a question, but you don't want everybody to know who you are. You can click on this, but one important thing to know after you create a thread is that if you want your post to be anonymous, you have to scroll down and check Post Messages Anonymous. Otherwise, your name will appear when you post your message. So if you want it to be anonymous, make sure you take that extra step. Okay, and in addition to those 2 forums, you will also see all of our discussion forums for the Cultural Discovery Projects. So there are 4 different ones, and I'll also show you the folder where these are located in class activities, and you can link them from there too. Okay, so back to my classroom, and now we'll enter into class activities. You'll see the virtual office hours link. Okay, it's very important that you get started this week with these 2 folders right here, Commençons and Mindtap activities. So in Commençons, you will see the video you're watching right now will be linked here as soon as I post it there. And you can go back and watch that at any time to get familiar with any part of the course. Introductions is the forum that I would like you to complete by this Friday. So I'm going to just ask you some basic information about yourself so I can get to know you. And you've gotten to know me a little bit through this video, but I'd like to know a little bit about all of you too. Why you're at Lander, why you decided to take this course, what previous experience you've had with French. That would be helpful for me to know. And then in the second part of your post, I'd also like you to watch this TED Talk linked here called The Secrets of Learning a New Language by Lydia Makova. And she is a Slovakian polyglot, a woman who has learned many languages. She's pretty impressive, and she talks about the secrets to her success, and they're kind of secrets I think that could apply to any language learner. I think they're really great, and I really love this TED Talk. So think about how the principles of language learning could apply to you, especially in an online class where you might feel more alone in your language learning. It doesn't have to be that way, but I think we can definitely learn from her as we go forward. And once you've included all that information about yourself, reply to a couple of classmates. Try to find some common ground, see what you might know about each other or what you can learn from each other. It doesn't even all have to be academic or about French. So just make some friendly introductions to some other students in the class. The other thing I'd like you to do by this Friday, it's relatively short, it should take you no more than 30 minutes, is to take an online French level test. Since you all are probably coming from different backgrounds, some of you were in French 101 last semester, you might have some experience from high school, you might have taken French 101 with a different instructor somewhere else, or even at Lander previously. So, we're all coming from different places. So I think it will be helpful just to know where you are, how much you remember from the past, and it will give you an idea of what your level is. It should give you a level in what we call the Common European Framework of language leveling. It's called CEFR, and those levels are A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, and that's basically beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And don't worry about the level. Don't feel concerned if you get an A1, for example, which is like the very beginner level. Of course, you might not have looked at French for a while. You might have forgotten some things. It's completely fine, even if you have. It will come back to you. But I think it's useful for you and for me just to know where everybody is. So if you can complete that by Friday, take a screenshot of the results that you get. You can submit it by clicking on this link here as an image, or you can put it into a Word document and submit it that way. Okay, and then the next 2 items here will come a little bit later, but the sooner you get them done, the better. We'll be taking online exams for each of the 4 chapters this semester, and I'll be doing those through Respondus Lockdown Browser. You may be familiar with it from French 101 or from some other classes that you've taken, but in case you're not, be sure that you have it downloaded on your computer. It's a separate browser, like a secure browser that you'll use outside of, a Chrome or Safari or whatever you use. And that will make sure that our exams are taken securely. And then there is just a very short practice test that I'd like you to take also before Friday, January 29th, just to make sure that you're able to access a Respondus test without any technical problems, and that I can see what you've submitted. So that just makes sure we get everything set up before the first test. Okay, so those are important items to take care of in the first week. Going back to my classroom and class activities. Okay, the other very important thing to make sure you get done this week is setting up Mindtap. So in the Mindtap activities folder, you have all the resources you need. This first link here is where you'll set up your access to Mindtap and where you'll access your activities each week. So the first step is to get your access set up. In the announcement message that I send out to you through email, I'll include a link where you can buy your access to Mindtap and Horizon directly through Cengage, or you can do it through the bookstore. Some students need to do it through the bookstore for financial aid purposes, and you may be waiting on that. Sometimes that is the case. You can definitely set up a trial version of Mindtap. The PowerPoint in this second link, setting up Mindtap access, shows you how to do that. But make sure you don't rely on the trial version for the whole semester, because it will run out and you won't be able to do the activities after the first couple of weeks. So you need to get the permanent access set up as soon as possible. When you purchase Mindtap, you'll get an access code, and then you'll come here to this first link where it will walk you through how to do it. And the PowerPoint also walks you through how to do it. Once you get it set up, then you can go ahead and work on your first set of activities. You'll see the week 1 activities are already posted there. And if you have any technical issues going through Cengage technical support, they will give you a ticket number and try to help you resolve any problems that you might have. Okay, let's see. Then we'll go back to my classroom and back to class activities. And underneath those 2 areas, you will see all the chapter folders. So each folder link has a photo that gives you a preview of the culture topic for that chapter. You will learn about the different skills that you'll be acquiring in each of those chapters. And in each chapter, you'll see that this is empty for now. But each week, I will post 3 to 4 grammar vocabulary lessons that you need to be watching every week to keep up with all of the concepts. So you'll be doing Mindtap, but as a support for Mindtap, you'll need to be watching those videos. So just like Mindtap, pace yourself through it. If you were attending this class, let's say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you would be getting a lesson on Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the class. Instead of in the class, we'll be doing it online. And of course, take advantage of virtual office hours or any additional sessions that I might be offering through the semester. Okay, so you'll see the 4 chapter folders there. Underneath that, you've got your exam folder. That's where I'll be posting the link for each of your online exams, but you will need to access those through Respondus, not through like a Chrome or Firefox, Safari kind of browser. It has to be through Respondus. The next folder here you see are the cultural discovery projects. And there is a link for each one to the discussion forum that goes along with it. You'll also see the guidelines for each of those projects, so you can go ahead and take a look at those anytime. And the rubric for grading each of your projects is here too. All these projects are done in English. The goal is just cultural learning, it's not language learning in this case. Okay, underneath the cultural discovery projects, you'll see activité orale or oral activities, and I haven't set these up yet, but in the next week or so I'll be getting all the links set up there from Flipgrid and giving you the requirements for each of those. The first one isn't due for a few weeks, so we still have some time for that. And then finally, your extra credit folder. So here you'll see the information to get set up in Duolingo. There's a PDF of instructions here. It's pretty much the same as the link you saw in the syllabus. And it should, help you get set up in that so you can go ahead and start having some fun with Duolingo. The Call My Agent link, there's a link to the description of the series on Netflix if you want to take a look at that. And then there's a Turnitin link here to upload the review of that. In this folder, I will also post the weekly challenges, and I'll let you know when those are available so you can start to work on those. Okay, so that's everything for this, I think this course orientation video. I think this guides us through everything we need to know to get started. So just don't forget to go into class activities, take care of everything that needs to be taken care of in the Let's Get Started folder, and also make sure to get your Mindtap access set up as quickly as possible. I wish you all good luck. I can't wait to get started, and I'm looking forward to getting to know you in the discussion forum this week. So, bonne chance!